Camera's rolling. And action.
What am I talking about?
Thinking outside the box.
Thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box. People unnecessarily create these constructs and these limitations in their own mind. Literally, the potential of your business, the only thing limiting it, I mean, assuming that you find product market fit and this is actually market opportunity and a market need, the only thing limiting it is your own mental state and the mental state also of your employees. The importance of thinking outside the box is not only essential for you to push forward your organization, but you also need to inculcate that mentality across your team. And here are a couple ways that I've realized can be helpful in just setting the standard for thinking bigger. So the first one, when there is a no, never settle on the no. Say not yet because you haven't found the answer. So there's never a wall. I promise you there's actually never a wall in life. As I've mentioned in many videos before, I studied environmental policy in English, and at 23, I started my first company. I was the youngest person on the continent to launch a VC fund. There wasn't a no, you're just not doing this right yet. With that, don't spend time building stories and justification for why something can't work. Don't even allow your team to do that. If you're like, why hasn't this been done yet? And they're like, well, we can't, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, what is the next solution? Because this current one doesn't work. Inculcate that idea of pivoting. Here's the wall, let me go around it into your organization. Another thing that's been really helpful for me is always thinking 10x. So whenever you create a goal, say your company, you're creating your annual OKRs, add a 0 onto everything. It shifts the way that you even think about solving the problems. Let me give you an example. Problem 1, we need to establish relationships with 100 investors this year. The way that I would do it is maybe every month I'd reach out to 10 new investors. That's 120 for the year. I reach out via LinkedIn. Maybe I'll send a couple tweets versus I say, I want to reach out to 1,000 new LP leads this year. I'm going to have to rethink the whole structure of how I'm doing outreach and how I'm even sourcing potential customers to begin with. So thinking bigger requires actions to be fundamentally different in execution, and make sure to keep thinking about that when recognizing thinking outside the box. And the last thing, I learned this from a friend who was high ranking in the Israeli military. We did this activity where we sat together and we solved a very simple problem, and we wrote all the different ways we could think of to solve that problem. And then a third party person came and shared a different type, a fundamentally different type of way of solving the issue. For example, how do you want to get from here to over on the other side of the street? You could walk, you could run, you could drive in a car, you could, be dragged, but fundamentally rethinking. Say there's a teleport. We're fundamentally rethinking the whole structure of how the activity can potentially be done. Because at the beginning, I didn't say there's no such thing as teleportation. Now that you recognize that these boundaries that you had put in your mind didn't actually exist, then you can think of an entirely new set of solutions for that problem. Okay, if there's teleportation, then there's probably going to be a wormhole. Maybe there's a flying dragon that will bring me over to the other side. Maybe there's a secret underground tunnel. Fundamentally rethinking the way that you can execute a problem and complete a task from one side to the other may require third parties, and it may require crazy, silly ideas, because that's really the source of how you get to the best solutions. Let it be okay to have brainstorming sessions with your team where the people are required to say the craziest things they can think of, because from those haphazard ideas or those crazy kooky outside ones, those are the best innovations, and that's how you're fundamentally going to think outside the box. Hope that's helpful. So if you're a pre-seed African startup and you're looking for funding, check out our website, check out our DMs, or reach out to any of the firm partners or scouts. We are happy to be in touch, and we are happy to help.